Hi everyone, this is Magic Mark here doing a training video for the Nuke Jade Cove newer members. This video is just going to kind of cover some aspects of ZVZ. We're going to talk about a little bit about what it is, what role it plays in the game, what builds you need, how you can participate, and go over some basic strategy by reviewing a video. Um, so the first thing is, what is ZVZ? It's basically Zerg versus Zerg. It's 20 versus 20, 100 versus 100. It's just bigger scale fights. You know, anytime it's like over 10 people versus 10 people, people call that a like sort of a ZVZ. And for 5v5 fights, there's certain compositions of, certain arrangements of equipment that work better in a 5v5, and there's certain ones that work better in like a 30v30 or a 40v40. So that's kind of what ZVZ is. I've got a little bit of a guideline here. Why do so many? So what is a CTA? Why do so many ZVZs happen here? CTA is a call to arms. Essentially, there's generally 4 every day. So if you click on Grave of Eternity, this is 4 UTC, so that means it's NA time zone. I think anything above like 00 or maybe even 2000. Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers, but they consider those NA. Essentially, all the stuff, you cut this map in half, all the north stuff is NA, all the south stuff is EU. Um, there's a war camp here. Use a siege camp to launch an attack. Next attack can be planned in 11 hours, 13 minutes. This is at 3 UTC. What happens is this needs to be pacified. So June would want this pacified so that Money Guild wouldn't be able to launch an attack on them, right? Like this war camp over here in Combi Tor has an attack launched on it. So Money Guild owns this. This war camp with this red arrow is attacking. Hammer and Sickle went here yesterday and launched an attack, which means it wasn't pacified. So what happens is, in order to pacify this, you might show up to like Grave of Eternity, and there might be like 50 guys there from June. So you'd have to kill these guys in order to get to the war camp to pacify it. Or if you wanted to launch an attack, same thing. And so that's a ZVZ, right? And it happens every day at the same time. This war camp is 3 UTC, and then these are EU, right? So this war camp is in 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's 18 UTC. The second thing is the castles. So this castle, right? If you see, this is a castle. It's a big castle. 648 season points. This castle, it doesn't say it here. This castle scores every day at 20 UTC as an EU castle. This castle, an NA castle, scores every day at 1 UTC. So you'll mass up with your guild around like 1915, 1920, 1930, and you may come out here to fight for this castle, right? It doesn't matter that Tea Party owns it now. What matters is who owns it when it ticks at 20 UTC. And so that's also a CTA. So if you think about it, you've got 18 UTC for the war camps. You got 20 UTC for these castles. Then you have 1 UTC for the NA castles, and you've got 3 UTC for the NA war camps. So typically 4 CTAs a day. You may also have mage defense. So if you click up here, you can see like siphoning mages are clicked. And I have 3 siphoning mages up right here. And I have 2 and degenerate sump. Somebody comes attacks these, you may have a CTA to come defend so they don't kill these, because they generate me season points and siphon energy every day. So the maximum I could get is 102 today. I have 3 alive. I've made 74. I could have made 216 theoretically, but I've lost some mages today, right? And that's kind of how you read that. If you clicked on here, he could have made 216. He's made 108. The most he can make today is 143. That means people come by, kill the mages. The mages respawn every 2 hours though, so you can always have a chance to sort of redefend them. Sometimes people come by on like off-peak hours, sort of kill them. All right, so that's CTAs. Castles, war camps, mage defenses. Oh, the pissed off CTAs, like if you get dove and you're like, guys, let's go kill it. So what are ZVZ builds? The first thing you want to ask yourself is, do I want to play tank? Do I want to play melee DPS? Do I want to play range DPS? Or do I want to play healer? Or do I want to play support? So this is kind of like a re-gear thing for us, a small amount of stuff. If you want to play tank, what is your build? You could do Grove Keeper tank, right? So you put on a Grove Keeper. I like the Ring of Tar. Slow and charge is okay too. And you can play this slowing thing here. I don't know what this is. Every 4 normal time. If you can really time that, that's well. And then you could use Adjudicator armor, but most likely you're going to be in a Demon armor, which this is going to reflect. I'll show you that in a sec. Probably a Hunter's shoes. And you'll be in a Knight helmet. So, how does this work? So now you're a tank. You're going to want a Martlock cape as well. I'll try to go through these quickly so it's not a super long video. So you're out here. You've got your pork omelet, which is going to give you a faster E. So it's 30 seconds. If I eat it right now, it's going to change to 25.95 seconds. That makes a lot of difference. You should have a tier 7 resistance potion. I have tier 5s on. This is going to, Hunter shoes, they're going to increase my crowd control abilities by 35%. My Knight helmet, it's going to make me not like get knocked back by wind walls and soul scythes and firewalls. This is my demon armor. This is my inertia ring. This is my E, right? The ground and pound. So if I'm a tank, I'll probably hear the shot caller say, we're going to engage to the northwest in 5, 4, 3, 2. On 2, I'm going to pop my Knight helmet. On 1, right? I'm going to go in. Boom, I'll try to hit a big clump of people. Ideally, you want to be right in front of the Zerg, right? A tank wants to go in maybe like on 2, so that when the DPS come in, they already see the clump. So this is Grove Keeper, right? You can even maybe try to like Ring of Tar them, because this slows them. Now your Demon Armor, let's say there's a Siege Bow or something. So what you want in Demon Armor is Gallatines and Siege Bows. Brimstones can't be reflected. You press this, right? You have to be taking damage. So you have to walk in there and take the damage, and it'll reflect it back. So ideally, you want to use your Resistance Potion first. That's Grove Keeper tank. We can do other tanks. You'll see very commonly a Camlin tank. Same setup, a little bit different. You're going to have a snare. You could use that as your Q. You could use Silence Ground, depending on what you're kind of doing. The main thing is this E. When you throw this E, it's going to clump people up. It's like going to clump monsters up. I don't have any monsters here, but it'll clump them up. So you'll see it. No, I don't want to be in the party. And it's same thing, right? You press F, you got your D, you know, you could throw your E. You can also snare them a little bit. And then you use your Demon Armor for Gallatines so they kill themselves. Now, the thing about Demon Armor, right, it lowers your resistances by 104 and increases your allies by 132. But they overlap. So if there's another Demon Armor, and you guys are both in range, then you'll raise each other's resistances while also raising everyone else's. Shot callers generally want to wear soul scythes, but soul scythes are good for non-shot callers too. You know, you can use Rising Blow. Here, you can use your Rising Blow. It's kind of a big knock-up. And it's a sort of similar thing. You've got just sort of an E here. Boom. This is going to knock them all up. Right here when you do that. And this Rising Blow, it's a similar knock-up. Now, if they have Knight helmets, it won't work. So you kind of have to do it before. You see Knight helmets or after. And this Q just kind of gives you some mobility. So those are the tank builds. Let me make sure I'm recording. Yeah, I am. Okay. Then we have, what do we have here? Those are pretty much the tanks that we run. So that's just if you wanted to play tank. Let's say you wanted to play melee DPS. You could put on some Gallatines. You're going to want to stack up your Gallatines, which I'll show you what that means. Some people play Assassin Jackets. Some people play Cleric Robes. I'll show you what an Assassin Jacket looks like. They'll usually run a Royal Hood. And they'll run Mage Sandals. This is kind of hard to play. So if there's anything, right, that's around that you can hit, see, create one heroic charge if you hit at least one. So maybe I can hit this. Now see this sword? So when I get 3 stacks, or 3 swords, 3 charges, my damage will do a lot more. So once I get 3 swords, you know, then I'll pop my, what is this? I'll pop my Royal Hood. I'll let that stack up. Can pop this. And then a lot of times they'll blink in and they'll kind of use their E. And that's sort of the combo. So you want to do it before this goes out. So what you'll do is, I'm just kind of waiting for this. You'll kind of, we have like 25 seconds to wait. So see this thing, it'll start stacking here. 2, 3, 4, 5. People will blink in. Boom, they press their E. And they try to hit everybody. So that's kind of really the combo. So you get your 3 stacks. You pop your Royal Hood. You go invisible. You blink in. You press your E. It's very difficult to play. You die a lot. But once you get good at it, it's the best CVZ weapon in the game, in my opinion. One of the best. That, Locusts, and Brimstones. But if I was going to play damage, I'd probably play Galatines. So melee DPS, you can also play Halberd. You usually run around a soldier armor with your Fury. Every time you take damage, you're going to get... you want a Fort Sterling K probably with this Galatines build. Every time you take damage, you're going to get increased attacks. So we can do this one here with the Knight Helmet so you can get in there. Oh man, I don't think we have halberds. Oh yeah, we do. And you can wear like Scholar Sandals, it's fine. A lot of people are using the Rage and Bleeds. You can use this too. Eternal Bleeds will help a lot. So you kind of go in, you start stacking bleeds on people. You're going to be Qing people. You're going to be Eing people. So this AoEs. And then you're going to have a big clap, right? So you may sort of pop your Knight Helmet to get through anything. Pop your Soldier Armor. So any damage you take increases your damage. And then you could do your big sort of tear apart here, which is a big clap. So it's all about stacking bleeds. You put the internal bleeding on them as well. There's a W, so that's nice. And that's sort of the melee ones we use there. Let's see, your officers. So yeah, I don't think any other melee ones. Really, halberds and galatines are kind of like, you know, the main ones we want to use. So let's say you want to be ranged DPS. You can be a siege bow. You're gonna wear a cleric robe. You're gonna wear scholar sandals. Alright, you're gonna have this everlasting spirit on. And you can have a knight helmet as well, so you don't get interrupted. I like to use the Sunder armor. It's one of the best armor piercers in the game. Big rule, your Q and W are for you, your E is for me, right? So if you're playing Sunder, you can, I don't even think there's anything to kick, but you would Sunder them with your W, press your Q, and then your E, right? So if you're running in for your E, you want to pop your knight helmet, run in, boom, try to take an angle, and it channels like this. Doom, doom, doom. If a demon armor is standing anywhere in there, it'll reflect the damage back to you. And it could kill you if you don't stop it in time. You also have this cleric robe as an escape, right? If you take damage while you're having the cleric robe, the circle will pop up. And you'll have invincibility for 3 seconds, and your damage goes up by 30%. So a lot of people sometimes use the cleric robe to give them damage. You got to be careful because this is a long channel, so that's why you want to pop your knight helmet, so that you can't be interrupted by knockups. That's the siege bow. What else is it? There's brimstones. We could talk about brimstones for range DPS. Those are really good. Right here, a brimstone. So I like to play it like this. A royal hood and a scholar robe. So, and a Fort Sterling cape. You need Fort Sterling capes for all of these. Unless the tanks. So I use my speedcaster here. Okay, and I still have this, and I still have this, and then I have this. So what you want to do here is the normal cast time, if you just pressed your E, is like this, right? Boom. What you want to do, the combo here, so you also have your wall of flames. That's really good. That can protect you, help you escape. This single target Q, if you start Qing somebody, it'll put a lot of damage on them. Especially like clappers, like halberds and gallatines. They'll start coming back there. So you want to always be putting damage on them. Always be Qing. Always be doing damage. Always be Qing. So the combo is, okay, we're going to engage, you know, the Camlin will go, clump them up, a Grove Keeper will come. You press your R, Speedcaster. You press your D. You run in, drop it. A lot faster. I hit him with 5 stacks. Ideally, you want to hit him with 6 stacks on the Royal Hood. That's Brimstone. You can use your Firewall defensively. You can run in front of somebody running away and use it defensively to trap them in. That's Brimstone. So we did Brimstone, Siege Bows. We did Gallatines. Damnation Staffs, very similar. You can use your Curse Sickle, your Desecrate. It's a long cast time, so that's why I use the Scholar Robe instead of the Cleric Robes. This is good for Armor Pierce. Reduces resistances by 72 for 6 seconds. So you press your R, you press your D, you press your F. You kind of run in. Look at this AoE effect. Boom! Hits everyone. Right? All of them are Armor Pierce. They're all going to take some damage over time. So that's Damnation. It's a curse from a Warlock. We got Permafrost. Essentially, the Permafrost, you can wear Night Helmet. It's probably better. Put on a Night Helmet here. Permafrost has got this big AoE. It's also got this Frost Nova that'll teleport them. A lot of times people are going to use double blink. But let's say you go in, maybe you blink in, boom, you drop your, boom. It's going to do a big AoE damage. It's going to be a lot of AoE damage. You could use your Speedcaster as well. If you're a high spec Permafrost, which I'm not, you'll get a Q that does a lot of damage that you could spam. I'd show it to you, but I don't have it unlocked. Alright, let's see. What other range DPS are there? Check the weapons. Icicle Staff. I don't need to talk about that too much. The Wailing Bows. I don't want to really encourage those. They're good for bomb squads and castles. Not much else. Okay, so that's range DPS. So support. If you want to play Locust, that's really support. One of the most powerful things in the game. You can play it with Demon Armor or Adjudicator. I'll show you with Demon Armor. You're going to need to play it with an Assassin Hood and the Meditation. I'll explain why. You can run these shoes, it's fine. So, when you're out locusting, your E is going to create a big black bubble that removes a lot of the negative effects from allies, like stuns and stuff, as well as increases their resistances by a ton. So it's kind of the defense, right? And I'll show you some live examples of this soon. So they come in, you locus, boom. Everything in the circle is going to have their defenses increased. You can see right here kind of my defenses are increased. Now, it's got a long ass cooldown, 34 seconds. So you press your D, right? And that drops your cooldown by a lot. So it's going to be back up with everyone else. This is your cleanse. You could put it on somebody. You could cleanse yourself, so when you get stunned. Okay, and this is just a shield, right? It absorbs 1,056 damage, lasts for 2 seconds. It just got buffed. So you could shield other people, the Shock Collar, that kind of thing. You could cleanse the Shock Collar. You also have your Demon Armor you can use. Your Demon Armor and a Siege Bow. Remember I showed you that Siege Bow? Maybe you get stunned, you cleanse yourself. Maybe you shield yourself. You know, and now you go, you locust, you see a big clump of people that need help. You locust them. You back up a little bit. You use your Assassin Hood. You see your cooldowns are coming much faster. You got your cleanse back. Locust takes a lot of experience to learn, but it's make or break on the battlefield. You could do Rampant Staffs. Alright, so we'll go to the healers. You're going to use Cleric Robe. You're going to use the Scholar Sandals, but you're going to use a Mercenary Helmet. the cleanse on it. So this is a cleanse, so you know it all depends. Like if you want to use your refreshing breeze, you can. I like using the AOE cleanse. The beautiful part about the rampants is they're made for kiting, right? So if you're looking at the enemy, you want to drop your mushrooms up here on the tanks, so the tanks can run through them when they go into fight. So see if I run through this, boom, it gives me a stack. Run another one, boom, I've got 2 leaves, right? So I'm healing for 53 per second. You see that? So it gives the tank something going in. But also if you're kiting, you could be dropping these. Let's say we have to kite. You could drop these while you're kiting. If I use this, everyone around me is going to get stacks. And there's the rampant. So you can use it to go in, but generally you don't want it to go in. A lot of times you might want to use it. Let's say they engage, and when they come back, you could drop the rampant. Everybody who stands on this carpet increases the amount of healing it does. Say the base healing is 18 per second, but 10 people standing on it will increase it by a lot. So you can use it like that. Now you have your cleric robe for defense, and then let's say the people in front of you get stunned, you get stunned, you have a cleanse like the locust with your merc hood. Now you're running back, you could drop these while you're running. You could drop these in front for people. You could drop those there if you need to. And then you could drop this carpet. It'll give you a little speed boost. Oh, it doesn't give you a speed boost, but it allows you to heal while you're kiting, and you don't have to stop. So that's the rampant staff. Fallen, same exact build, except you're wearing a fallen. I use the orb and the Q and the fallen staff, and then I use this. You have what they call a reset, right? Because 10 allies, it heals them a lot. So you have your Qs. You can orb people, boom, that'll heal 5. Then your reset. So you say reset on the front line, or you say reset on the back line, and you want to kind of tell them a little bit before you drop it. That's sort of how you heal with Fallen. It's just really beginner, basic, brief stuff, just to give you an overview of everything. Did we cover everything? Soul Scythes, Royal Hoods, yeah, boom, Galas. Demon Armor is for tanks. We don't usually use those that much. I'll show you real quick. Essentially, it's an Enfeeble Aurora. Everyone inside the Enfeeble Aurora, the purple thing, will do 60% less damage. So when you press your R, you want to make sure that you have the people inside of you, the enemies, that are doing the damage, that they're inside of that. So you want to try to time it when they engage. Okay, so that's kind of a basics, what ZVZ build is right for me. Now what's 400 spec look like? See these right here. I have 100 in all of my armors. Right, so the tank really needs his armor. So I have 100 in all of my armor. So that's 400 spec. So if you were going to be a Brimstone player, you would get... So right now I'm 90 in my artifact for Brimstone, but I have nothing here. So I'd have to get all of these up to 100 as well as finish this one off to be a 400 spec Brimstone. Same thing for healers, right? I've got 81 artifact for a Fallen Staff, 69 Divine. I'd have to get all of these to 100 to be a 400 spec Fallen Staff Holy Healer. Okay, what's next? Spec does matter a lot in ZVZ. I've got some videos where I took the same amount of damage as someone else, and I lost half my health and they died. Overview of very basic strategy. Okay, I'm going to show you a ZVZ I did. So a couple of things. You're always thinking about positioning. You always want the south angle, right? So we're coming out to fight these guys.
They're down by me.
Alright, and I see them there, south. So I want to wrap around and take the south angle. So that's what I do. I wrap around, I take the south angle. I'll speed it up a little bit. You can see me wrapping around. I want the south angle because it's better vision, and it makes a big difference here. So I'm always pressing in too to see like where I'm going. Now look at my strategic point that I use. So I can't get flanked. I want to I want to use this sort of war camp here to sort of prevent me from getting flanked, and I want these chokes. I move my bar here. And I play the counter punch role. So when you attack, I try to absorb it with Locust, and I counter. When you're out of position, when you have nothing, when your DPS are easy to get to. You generally want your whole unit, working together and, attacking at the same time.
Yo, Mark.
So here they come here. I'm just making a video right now. Okay. So here they come. Right, so there they are, right? I see them there. I have them kind of on my screen. So that's a Gala, right? We just kind of that's a halberd. We kind of went over that. You see how he glowed red? He used his E. So he's coming in to put some pressure. I think he might have used Gigantify there a little early. That's the enemy tanks. And we kind of want to be in their tanks. This is a Galatines. He's using soldier armor. He's got the stacks on him. You see that? That's a Camlin, right? That's gonna anybody that's near that Camlin, that's an enemy Camlin because it's on my guy here, will get sucked in unless we use a Knight helmet. So Augustine didn't use his Knight helmet there. We all got sucked in. A nice Grovekeeper stun on that would be appropriate, but it doesn't follow up. But one of the healers uses a cleanse, you see? So we don't stay stunned in the Camlin. So we're just kind of here. It's a lot of posturing. You see a rampant staff there. I'm checking my position. I'm probably telling them to move south more. I want that south angle. I don't want the west to east angle. I want the south angle. And I want to use this war camp to cover one of my flanking sides. So here they come in. Felipe slows them a lot. It's a bad engage by them. They don't really catch anybody because we had already started moving south. So that's an enemy Brimstone. That's enemy Siege Bow. See that lining right there? So if you're a Demon Armor tank, you would want to get in there. You see how he's shooting it? You'd want to get in there. You'd have to get in that part right there to take damage. I got my one cat here. This is probably a newer healer. We don't usually want beams because they're so easily interrupted. There's a reset at the front there. These are Knight helmets on these guys. So this Locust is not ours. It's theirs. It's probably a waste. Maybe they thought we were going to counter. So I'm holding the south here. Trying not to go too far north because I like my position here, right? They have to come through these chokes. I've got a war camp protecting my southeast flank. I have the south angle. You'll see Galas, they're stacking up on the front lines. That's how so he's trying to keep his 3 stacks. The halberds are doing the pressure here, creating bleeds. There's a firewall. We talked about that as well. That's a holy orb from the enemy. I'm just putting a little pressure on them with my Q. Or what I'm doing is I'm waiting for them to attack. I want them to commit so that I can absorb it with the Locust. We've got craft on Locust here. And then I could counter. So there's a little bit of a standoff here. Felipe and Augustine, they may be a little too far ahead. We want to be careful we don't leave our shot collar. So I'm the crown. I'm the blue dot. You always want to be on my screen. So I'm just queuing. I'm waiting. I'm patient. I'm patient, right? I'm very patient here. I'll sit here all day. Eventually they're going to engage. I'm just checking my positioning. Putting a little pressure. So there's another Camlin that drags everyone in. Felipe could have used his Knight helmet there. So that was an E by them. This is a Camlin that's going to get a bunch of people unless we use a Knight helmet. It was a cleansed after, but this Grovekeeper is going to follow up with a stun here. He kind of misses his stun, but he hits a lot of people. He doesn't really miss. He hits a lot of people. And see how they're going to follow up a brimstone? This gal is going to come in. This siege bow, not the best angle. He's coming in. This brimstone's already using his royal hood. He's going to come in. So this is their engage, right? I don't have demon armor. I would be popping it right here. We cleanse that. Looks like there's a Judicator helmet. That's a lot of damage coming in here. You can see all the different lines, right? There's a siege bow here, siege bow there, siege bow there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 siege bows. There's a brimstone there, but there's also a green reset. So they're going to get heals. And then the locusts come in. So these are my locusts. My guys are getting locust here to kind of help them. Now I'm a little too far ahead here because I can't see my Zerg. And I'm calling the counter right now, most likely. Yep. So my guys go in. We counter in their back line. I'm going to try to follow it up with the stun. Not the best, but we got something. I use my Ring of Tar to sort of slow people on the retreat. We got one. If we get one, we got two here. I'm happy. You know, every kill counts. A lot of this stuff I learned from my friend King Mojo, teaching me ZVZ for a long time. So I'm basically thankful to him. Shout out to King Mojo. And Skabel taught me a lot of ZVZ stuff. So here we're kind of putting the pressure on. I want to finish off these low guys, but I disengage because then they can counter on me, right? And we're still kind of low. I disengage too much here, though. I always need to be kind of seeing them on my screen, but I disengaged a little too much here. One cat comes out. So they're low here. So I think I call another engage because I see them low. And so you kind of see what's happening, right? Their locusts are coming in to try to stop them. There's a blazing. Our brimstones, they're kind of countering us now. Now they start to counter us. You can see the siege bows. You can see the camlins they're throwing. There's some resets down. I dropped my Judy. So it's going to increase the healing in the resets. So we kind of full up. We lose Augustin. It's okay. That's an enemy damnation, right? We just talked about that big AoE. Here comes an enemy siege bow. See how he has a knight helmet on? They're low too, though. You know, they're low too. You know, we're low, but they're low too. So we kind of go back to a standoff again. I want to put them back in that south angle, though. So I like that south angle for us. So now we're just kind of healing up. I'm looking at my bars here too. I see Warren low. You know, I see my guys low. I know Augustin's dead. So I'm going back to where I like the better position. Position is always the most important thing in ZVZ. So they come in. I think they're feeling a little confident too because they just killed Augustin. But as you can tell, he's already back on the board. So I'm going to be patient here, right? I'm going to be in their faces a little bit right here on their front line, giving them some pressure. Says hi, BMats used to run that alliance. I want to kill that guy because he's like talking shit about BMats or whatever. I don't know, bringing it up. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. They'll come in. I know they'll come in. They've already came in. They'll do it again. And you can see how close they're getting here. It looks like they're getting some reinforcements too. So I'm waiting. I'm just patient. I'm just patient. I'm checking my positioning always. I'm just patient here. I'm just patient. I'm just being patient. So right there, I didn't call an engage. He saw a clump and he engaged. It's kind of a waste, right? Because there's not going to be any follow-up. So those guys are not going to die, right? A little bit of follow-up, but they're not going to die. So you want to save your E, for when the shot caller calls it. All right, now they're coming in. Yeah, they're coming in, right? You can see all these people coming in. They're using the scholar sandals. This siege bro is bad positioned, right? I mean, who's he even hitting? 2 tanks. He should have went in. He should have came down here, and he should have hit the whole side right there. I leave my Zerg a little bit. This is me overextending. And now I call the counter, and boom, right here on this tree. I want to kind of take their midline here. I use my inertia ring to kind of slow everyone in here. My guys are going to be coming up through this locust. They're not too low. They've already taken some heals. And then you should see some damage sort of following up. Lunatic laugh dies. That's our reset in the front line there. So I grab it and keep pushing forward. Now they're a lot lower than us. As you notice, there's a blob that just zoned in though. I don't notice it right away. So I'm pulling back because I know that they can counter us soon. Because their cooldowns are going to be up. It's all about that 30-second E. See, they're countering us a little bit. But I'm pulling back some. I'm pulling back. So a lot of this is not going to hurt too bad. We can absorb a lot of this. And I'm calling for another counter. So we killed another one here. Every kill counts. Every kill counts. I'm focusing this person here because this person's a healer. Unknown Dre is a healer, right? So I'm like telling my guys, okay, we got to get him. But then I know they can counter again soon. So I want to be careful. But I see them low, and I know Maximus is their shot caller. So I want to go for Maximus. They locust to get their shot caller out. We kill another one there. Right there, we kill another one. So that's really good. It's kind of a dance with the 30-second cooldowns or the 25-second cooldowns. You know what I mean? You're trying to keep your guys healthy, trying to pack a punch for damage. You know, at this point, I think they're going out. I see this blob now, right? I see this blob. I thought maybe it was them trying to wrap around, but it's a different blob. So I see this, and I immediately know they're going to try to hit me from the flank. I send my guys west. West, 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 west. I think I tell them sprint west. So sprint west. So we don't get engaged by these guys. See these? They're lighting up. They're using their royal heads. Now I want to counter them. I don't have a lot of tanks here. Felipe already used the Z. Now I want to counter them again. Boom. This is a whole nother group. So if I had another tank stun there, all this damage would have hit, and we'd have wiped them right there. So that's the game, right? It's back and forth. It's counters. Now they're kind of hitting us again, but we're still okay. We're still okay. You know, not panicking. There's really no reason to use a demon armor there by Augustin. I think he might die for that. But, you know, I'm looking at my cooldowns. Okay, we turn this, we turn this, we turn, okay? And probably, like, I'm counting down right now, probably. I'm, like, telling everybody, get back up here. Even if you're low, you still got to turn. You know, even when the party doesn't, even when it's not going well, you still got to turn, you know? So we're going to turn any second here. Boom. So, yeah, we kill a bunch there. It's a nice turn. Kill a bunch of them. So the turns can always happen. Now they turn on us. We need a Grove Keeper, we need a Locust, and we need a heal. Because that Siege Bow, he's putting in mad damage. That reset sort of saves us. We lose one there, though, Augustin again. And now we have our Locusts. We can walk out all this shit in. And we'll turn again on them soon. So another reset. There's just so many of them. They decided to overwhelm us. And we had already lost some numbers from the first fight. So that's kind of what ZVZ's like. Anything else to go over? Let me see. Yeah, very basic look at how to play each build. Overview of very basic strategy. So we went over all the ZVZ stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you learned a little bit.